Hello everyone, Carson here, and in today's video I'm going to be explaining to you the best places to buy domain names, as well as why you need to. Now before we get into this video, I do have a link in the description with a detailed comparison of these places and where you can receive special discounts. Alright, so let's get started. Now the first thing you need to know is why you need a domain name. It's similar to why you need an address for your house actually, or why you need identification for pretty much anything else. If people want to access your data, if they want to find you on the web, because the internet is a very big place, they're going to need an address by which they can access you. They're going to need some type of unique identification which your website has and which they can locate in order to find your website. This is why people have domain names, because they can type in URLs, they can type in the name of your business or what your business does, and they can locate that depending on what domain name you chose. For example, for my personal website, I just use my name and I can post things there for people to access. Because of this, it's impossible to have a website without first purchasing a domain name. So now that we understand why we need a domain name, let's go ahead and get into the distinctions between the domain register. Now, domain registers are essentially businesses which sell domain names and which you can buy domain names on. Now, there are quite a few. Some of them sell domains, some of them sell domains and web hosting, and other services as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a list of some of the best ones and then go ahead and give you my closing thoughts. Now, one of the most famous domains for buying domains is actually domain.com, believe it or not. Domain.com is a website which sells domains, provides web hosting, web services, and web design. Now, for the first year of buying a .com domain, you're going to be paying around $9.99, and for consecutive years around $13.99 through this register. Now, moving onward to the next domain register, let's talk about the biggest one on the market, because it wouldn't be a video about domain registers if I didn't at least mention them. Now, the biggest domain register on the market by far is GoDaddy.com. If you haven't heard of them, then you haven't seen their advertisements yet, because those advertisements pop up everywhere over the web. Now, believe it or not, they actually control over 18% of the domain name market as a whole. GoDaddy is seriously big, but let's take a look at their prices, because they are a bit more expensive than domain.com. For the first year, it's $11.99 for a .com domain, and for every consecutive year after, it's $17.99. This is quite a jump up from domain.com, so as you can see, there are already small distinctions between these services which you need to take into consideration. Now, GoDaddy does offer web hosting and web services as well. Moving on, we have Namecheap.com, which is known for their very, as the name implies, cheap name. Namecheap.com for the first year is around $8.88 per month. For all the years after though, it's around $13 per month, which is still very much more affordable than GoDaddy.com. Now, another place you can get domain names, and I'm mentioning this because this is definitely a path you could take if you wanted to do this, is actually Bluehost.com. Bluehost.com, although they're not known for providing domain names, they're not known as a domain register. They're a web hosting service first and foremost, but they do sell domain names, and they also provide domain names for free with their hosting plan. Now, if you're just buying the domain name and not getting a hosting plan with Bluehost.com, you can get it for $12.99 the first year and $17.99 every year afterward. But if you are getting the hosting plan, the domain names are actually free and they just come with the plans. Now, this is actually the same with another web hosting company, Hostinger. They also sell domain names on their website and provide domain names for free under their hosting services. So this is something you need to consider when you're buying a domain name, because if you're going to be buying a web hosting service as well, you might as well just buy a web hosting service that comes with a free domain name, because then you can get access to the domain name without the extra hassle of having to pick it out from a domain register and transferring it to your website. So now, just to recap, there are multiple domain registers where you can buy domain names from. Some of these popular domain registers are domain.com, GoDaddy, Bluehost, Hostinger, places like that. Now, you need a domain name because without it, no one can access your website. You don't have a unique address and people won't be able to find you on the internet. Now, usually domain names are pretty affordable, ranking anywhere from $10 to $20 a year, which is very cheap. You can also get domain names with hosting plans depending on the hosting plan and hosting provider you choose. Well, thank you so much for listening. Now, if you do have any questions for me about domain names, domain registers, or where to buy your domain name, go ahead and leave a comment below and I will respond. Also, just a reminder that I have a link in the description with a more detailed comparison and where you can receive special discounts. Thank you for watching, till next time, and have a great day.